Swamp Thing number 9, written by Scott Snyder, art by Yannick Paquette and Marco Rudy. Last issue left off with the monstrous form of Abby impaling Swamp Thing with some massive claws. And this issue just picks up right afterwards, where basically Alec as Swamp Thing is just trying to get through to Abby, just trying to remind her of who she is underneath. And the entire time the Rot is just, and Seth is just yelling out like, nope, she's one of us now. There's nothing you can do. She is completely ours, one and all. And Abby rips off Swamp Thing's wings, and he's just laying there broken on the ground. And he keeps on trying to get it through. He's just like, beneath it all, you're still there. I know you are. And he does something. He's like, throws some green at her, and he apparently, and this is his thing, because she starts revolting, apparently during the fight he's trying to like tell her all the stuff about himself. He's like, you're Abigail Arcane, and the Rot begins attacking him. He's like, you're Abigail Arcane, I know you, you're kind, you're a nurse, you like spring more than fall, you like how the way foxfire makes the body glow at night, you like food with way too much sugar, and most importantly, you like canned peaches with vanilla. That's important because what he did during the fight was he took vanilla seeds, itty bitty tiny, like incomprehensible seeds, and put them into Abby's body, something so small that didn't even notice, and then used his powers to make them grow, thus putting life inside of a Rot creature and being able to free Abby from the control of the Rot. So the shell starts breaking, Abby starts breaking out of it, and by the end he gets her out of the monstrous form. But Seth is having none of it, so he starts charging after Alec and just goes nuts. Like, he is absolutely destructive, saying how he's going to kill him himself. He's causing sandstorms and dust storms to just bury Alec and buffet him constantly. And it's just this long-ass monologue of like, do you know who I am? I'm the guy who's going to burn your house down. And he's just throwing all this sand on him, and he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bury you here. I'm going to bury you here, and I'm going to keep burying you here every day. I'm going to build my throne on top of you, and you're never going to be able to escape. That's what's going to happen. And as he's about to be buried by Seth, Abby finally gets up, and she now has some level of power. She's covered in like flowers, which I think may have just been Swamp Thing's thing. But she stands up and she's like, no, Seth, you're done here. Look, you imbued me with the powers of the Rot, and you've been whispering in my ear for my entire life. And I am so sick of hearing you talk. So shut up and die already. And she uses her powers to basically control the same Rot that Seth did. And despite the fact that Seth seemingly is more powerful, she is getting the upper hand, and she is taking him out. So one by one, she starts snapping his bones and just breaking him apart until finally there is nothing left of him. He is just ashes on the ground. And of course, Abby's brother is there, who I forget his name. I think it might have been William. I'm just going to say Abby's brother. So he's crying over Seth. It's like, no, you're the king of the Rot. You're supposed to be able to do this. You can survive. We can do it together. And Abby's like, no, I'm going to make sure he can't. And she walks away as he's crying over Seth's body. And she walks over to Alec, and he's hurt. He's worse for wear, but he's still kicking. And as he gets up, she's like, look, I'm too much. Just leave me. I'm too broken. And she's like, shush. I'm a nurse, remember? She's like, yeah, for people. And he's like, exactly, for people. And they embrace, they share a hug, and they just walk off into the sunset. Just, now let's go home. But then finally we get one last shot of William, who he's crying over the body of Seth. And then we see that Seth is still whispering to William, still is putting thoughts inside of his head. And apparently all of this was part of his plan. All of it like was a thing that was exactly what they wanted. And now, because of whatever happened, they are unleashing the original true father of the Rot, the great one, Anton Arcane, aka Abby's father, as his hand just shoots up from a swamp somewhere. And that's the last page, is just his hand coming up. I'm interested. I'm down. It was a fast issue. It was very, like, it was a lot of big pictures, not a lot of text, but oh boy, I'm interested. I will say, since Swamp Thing has been introduced, they've been just yo-yoing him, where it's like, okay, he's super duper strong, but then he's weak to Abby. But then he's strong against Abby, but then he's weak to Seath. But then he manages to survive Seath anyway. So it's just like, all right, what? I don't know where he actually stands in terms of ability. It just seems like he let his guard down for Abby, but otherwise he's actually strong enough to do everything except beat Seath's, like, correctly, like, by himself. And the only reason he survived was because of Abby. That's what I'm picking up, at least, but it is a little bit confusing issue to issue of, like, where is he actually in terms of power? But it's solid. The art is fantastic the whole way through. I can't fault any of it. The only thing I wish is that Seath may have stuck around a little bit longer if he is truly gone, but I kind of doubt he is, because I think there's a whole lot more coming up to the Rot World stuff, including Animal Man. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm very much into it, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they handle Anton Arcane as the true father of the Rot.